In this video, we'll review the NFL team win totals as set by the FanDuel Sportsbook for every NFC team. And we'll discuss where they'll reach that number. And it's coming up next. Hello, everyone. I'm Eric Lay.
And I'm Michael Wiley, and we're the Fantasy Football Consultants. Eric, we're getting a little bit closer to the season here. We got a lot of content coming up. Folks, before we do that, please be sure to like these videos, share them with others, and don't forget to subscribe. We want you to be subscribers. Eric?
Yeah, and all our preseason content, all the videos are in the descriptions, links to those videos. So after you watch this video, be sure to check it out. But right now, Michael, I'm excited about this. We're going to have a special guest that'll break our ties, and let's welcome him now. All right, Michael, to help us go through the totals, the win totals for the NFC this week, Aaron Dean is back. Thanks for joining us, Aaron.
Hey, guys. Pleasure to be back.
Aaron, anytime it has anything to do with betting, we turn to you. You are the expert.
I don't know if that's a good thing to be known for.
All right, we're going to go through the win totals. We're going to start at the highest win total teams in the NFC and work our way down. We start with the Philadelphia Eagles, and always the question is, yes or no, will they exceed their win totals? Philadelphia Eagles, 11.5. Let's vote now. Well. Look at that. Okay, Michael, you're the minority. Big on the Eagles, huh?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think they don't have maybe as easy of a schedule as some of these other higher ranked teams. And because they are in, I think, the toughest division in the NFL this year. But the NFC East and the NFC East does draw the AFC East this year, which is, I'm sure, part of the reason you guys are both saying no. But strong team. I think they're going to find a way to get it out and get those 12 wins.
You gave all my arguments for the under. I just think that they replaced some really strong guys on the defensive line with some rookies who are going to be really great, but will he be that great in the first week? Aaron, so good to have you to break the tie to know why no.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest part for me as well was the AFC East, going up against the AFC East. And then again, Eric, exactly what you said, defensive line. I'm a big offensive line, defensive line teams, and they lost a big piece in Hargrave going over to the 49ers defensive line. And they've replaced him with obviously cheaper options. Not sure it's going to be enough to get them over that total. I got them right at around 11 wins. So that's why I went with the under.
All right, let's move on. At 10.5 wins is the San Francisco 49ers. Let's vote. Will they get over the 10.5 point total? Let's vote now. Oh, it is a clear sweep for yes. What do you think, Aaron? Why yes?
I do. They're in arguably the worst division practically in all of football. I think you're going to see a big regression with Geno Smith this year. He'll come back down to earth and be Geno Smith. I know. Sorry, Eric. I know you're a Seahawks fan, but I think that they've killed the draft. But I still think that the 49ers own them with Shanahan, and the Niners will pick up 6 cheap wins and then figure out the rest from their schedule from there.
Michael?
I'm a little bit worried about the quarterback situation with coming back from an injury. Pretty obviously hurt his elbow at the end of the year, but supposedly everything looks good there. I think that just Vegas was generous with the 10.5. So I feel like that's they're going to be at 11 wins, and that's over.
I agree with you. Very generous. They're 13-4 last year in the regular season. So, and I think don't underestimate the fact that they get Christian McCaffrey for the entire year. I think that'll be a big boost. So we're all in agreement. Let's see if that agreement continues. Let's move to the how about them Cowboys? The Dallas Cowboys, 9.5 win total. Let's vote now. Once again, we agree. I don't get this line. I strongly am a yes on the over. They've had back-to-back 12-win seasons, and they just need 10 to beat this. And they added Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore. So I like it. Michael?
Yeah, I mean, my the only concern I have with the Cowboys is a head coaching situation. I just think Mike McCarthy is not the right answer for them to win a championship, but 9.5 is just too low for this defense. They're by far really the most formidable defense in the NFL right now. And I think that's going to prove to help them continue to win. Not sure how it's going to go in the playoffs until they make a change in the head coaching position. Aaron?
Yeah, same thing, Michael. I'm not big on the coaching situation there either. I think Dallas would do themselves a huge favor as well and pick up Dalvin Cook that's out there as free agency. The more they run the ball, the better Dak is. The more they rely on him to pass the ball, the worse chances that Dallas is going to have this year.
All right, so let's move on to the Detroit Lions. They also are 9.5 win totals. So let's vote now.
And that weighs in quite heavily here for the Lions. I think they really draw an easy schedule. You got the NFC North playing against the NFC South this year, which we all know is the worst division in the NFL, or second worst, perhaps, just tied with the AFC South. They do draw the AFC West, which you could argue with the Eagles and the Niners is somewhat strong, but with the Rams and the Cardinals, it's weak on the other side. So I think the Lions just have an easy schedule. I know why Eric, you talked a lot about the Lions. I'll let you go ahead and go next. They're improving. I think they're going to get 10 or 11 wins this year.
Yeah, they were 9-8 last year, and we got a 9.5 win total here. But they finished 8-2 in their last 10 games. They finished really strong. Their offense was outstanding, the fourth best, and they get 8 starters back from that. And I think some of the key skill positions they replaced well, for example, at running back. And the defense is going to get better. It wasn't good, but it will be better this year. So, yeah, I feel pretty good about the over here. Lions, NFC North division champs. What do you think about that, Aaron?
I almost got there, but I'll be honest. I still think Green Bay. I know that they have big question marks at the quarterback spot, but I don't think that they will ask him to do a lot to win games. I think they'll ask him just to manage a game, and they by far have the best complete roster on both sides of the ball.
Okay, great. Let's move on to the last team that is 9.5 win total in the NFC, and that is the New Orleans Saints. Vote now. Okay, well, once again, we're all over. Dean, why over for the Saints?
I have an over, although it's just barely over. I think they win 10 games this year. I think the defense is aging. The offense, I think, will get markedly better. The Saints last year led the NFL in the most turnovers in the red zone. I think that gets mopped up real quick with just the big upgrade at quarterback, a way better decision maker in Derek Carr than when you look at whoever else they put back there with Jameis Winston and Dalton and the likes. So I just think that they had a massive upgrade at quarterback. But again, I'm not a big believer in the coach, Dennis Allen. So I'm just not sure if their offense is going to be enough, but their defense should keep them in games and give Derek Carr a chance at winning the game at the end of the fourth quarter. And he's by far proven to be one of the best at doing that.
Michael?
Yeah, so this is all about schedule. They have the easiest schedule in the NFL, drawing the NFC North and the NFC South, obviously, because they're in the NFC South and the AFC South this year. I didn't rank them very high, if you recall, on how we ranked the teams, but their schedule is really, really easy. I agree the Derek Carr change improves things. I'm not really sure how I feel about Dennis Allen, in his second season with the Saints, but I think this is a 10-win season for the Saints because of the schedule.
Yeah, and you guys are Raider fans, so maybe they won't believe you, but I like Derek Carr a lot, and I do think that's a major upgrade. And I think they dodged a bullet with Kamara. I thought he would get suspended a lot more than 3 games. So it's only 3 games, I like the over here. A little behind the scenes action for you guys. We took a break and Aaron asked, where was the no button? And the next team is the Seattle Seahawks. I'm getting a little afraid. So let's see. The Seattle Seahawks are 8.5 win total. Let's all vote now. Oh, okay. All right.
Sorry, Eric.
All right. Wait. You. Okay, so I'm going first just because it's my team. This line is ridiculous, in my opinion. They were 9-8 last year. They beat this 8.5 line last year. They're a better team this year than last year. Why? Because they had a huge draft class this year that addressed a lot of their needs. They had a huge class last year, which I think will get a little bit better. And yes, 4 wins, Rams twice, Arizona twice. So they're almost halfway to that 8.5 line. Michael, we'll keep the good vibes going before we go to Aaron.
Well, they were fortunate enough to draw the easiest schedule of everyone in the NFC West. So that's what I was banking on. I agree they're going to be slightly better team because they're on the up and up. I don't disagree with Aaron kind of commenting that I think Geno Smith comes down to earth a little bit, but he's got that great offensive line. He's got some weapons to work with. I see them going 9-8 again, Eric, and you can see them just barely miss the playoffs once again.
What do you mean once again? They made the playoffs last year. Thank you, Lions.
I forgot. They didn't last very long.
Did he just set you up with that?
I don't know, but let's move on. But just we will have programming while you talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, so I do agree with you, Eric. I think that they've nailed their drafts the last 2 years, and I don't think that will be the reason why they don't hit that win total. I think a big part of that is you saw halfway in the year as they got more and more tape on what the Seahawks were really doing well with Geno Smith, teams started to take that away. And also, too, I will note is that Kenneth Walker started to get dinged up and then ended up not finishing out the season. I believe that's going to be their big Achilles heel this year. You've already seen it in training camp. All the running backs are going down, and they've had significant injuries, and Kenneth Walker being the most important one, still battling a groin injury. I just feel like you cannot rely on Geno Smith to week in and week out to win you a ton of games. They've got to have a running game.
But they got Zach Charbonnet and
he's been hurt with a shoulder already in camp. So
all right, we have to move on, and we'll agree to disagree. How about that? Let's move on to the Minnesota Vikings. Boy, have they been disrespected. They got 13 wins last year, but the win total is only 8.5. So let's vote now.
I found the X button.
Okay, Michael. Not everybody is going to win every game, apparently. So tell us about the Vikings. What's going on?
Yeah, well, I mean, we saw last year they were just the luckiest team in football. I don't know if we've ever seen a year like that where a team had such a bad point differential and such a good record, and it showed, towards the end of the season for them and in the playoffs. I think the Dalvin Cook loss is a big one as well. So, I'm very much a big fan of their coach Kevin O'Connell. And he comes from that same school as Sean McVay, and so I'm confident that he's going to figure out some stuff, but he's got a lot to do. I think they're going to have a tough year, maybe not as tough of a schedule as some of the folks we've been talking about, but they do draw the AFC West this year from the NFC North. And I think in their division, they actually have the toughest schedule amongst their other teams.
Aaron?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think also too, losing Dalvin Cooks. I mean, Alexander Madison is a good, solid running back, but he's a ground and pound guy. I don't think he offers you enough in the pass game. And so when they start moving him in and out of the lineup, teams are going to kind of key on some of that. And then with Kirk Cousins, obviously it's a big contract year for him if he wants to continue playing and try to get himself another extension. So that's the only thing I kind of worry about. But like Michael said, they were the luckiest team in the NFL. They were actually 10-0 with one score or less. So that's not going to repeat itself. And in fact, I don't know the stats, but I know they were the worst in the NFL in losing the first 3 quarters, and somehow miraculously they've changed it up in the 4th quarter. And maybe that might be a little bit of head coaching. I think a lot of it was luck. So at the end of the day, the luck starts to fall back. It's a big fade for me.
Yeah, and I agree with everything you guys said. I'll just say their defense was not good last year. And they brought in Brian Flores, but they didn't bring a lot of strong defensive players in to help them out. So
no, they didn't bring the Miami defense with them.
This was tougher for me. I mean, I think that they will get close to this 8.5, but I'm thinking 7 or 8 wins. All right. The last team at the 8.5 point win total on the clear mind is the Atlanta Falcons. 8.5 wins. Question is, are they going to meet that? Yes or no? Are they going to beat that? Yes or no? Let's vote now. I'm not surprised with Michael because we had this argument in the power rankings, but Aaron, I'm so disappointed.
Sorry.
So I'll go with this one. Besides the fact that I think that this will be an improved team, their defense will be better. I think the Bijan Robinson factor, I think, is going to be great. I like their playmakers on offense with Drake London and Kyle Pitts. But here's the number one reason. They have the second easiest schedule based on total of the wins projections that we're going through of anyone in the NFL. So I think they're going to be 5. The question is, they're going to beat 500? Yes, is the answer. I think they'll be at least 9 and 8.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me to hear that from you, Eric, based on how we talked about the power rankings. I think they're right there in the middle. You're right. They have an easy schedule. But are they there yet? I am concerned about the quarterback situation. Mm-hmm. Their defense is not good. And so, we'll see. 9 and 8 is the best they're going to do.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a push. If there was a push button, I would have pushed. But really, to be honest with you, I think Atlanta's done a pretty good job at the draft the last couple of years as well. And I really think that they have the coach, and I really hope that Arthur Blank keeps that going for them. But if Atlanta were really to do themselves a solid favor, that would be to tank this year and get one of the top 2 draft picks, because really they're a big playmaking quarterback away from being a really, really solid team, a 10+ win team year in and year out.
All right, then here's the next tranche of teams that are 7.5: Bears, Panthers, Packers, and Giants. We'll start with the Bears. The question is, do we think they will exceed the 7.5 win total? Vote now. Oh my gosh. My answer was not no, it was H to the no on this one. I mean, look, they were the worst team record-wise last year. They were 3-14. Do I think that they'll be better? Yes. 5 games better? No, I don't. I do like another playmaker with DJ Moore on the team. Fantasy aside, I still don't know how good Justin Fields truly is as an NFL quarterback. Aaron, why yes?
So I agree with you. And what we were saying last year was the same thing about Philly, other than the fact that they had obviously a very good defensive line, offensive line, but we were saying the same things about the quarterback, Jalen Hurts. It was time to put up or shut up, right? And I still think that's the same with Justin Fields. They gave him the weapons this year. DJ Moore is really making waves in camp. They got a pretty decent running game. Their offensive line, I'm not big on. They've got a lot of new pieces there, a few rookies that they've drafted. They're going to have to really hit for them. But overall, I thought like the most crazy hire, or the most indiscreet hire last year, was the Chicago Bears, because no one knew even how to pronounce the coach's last name. So, but what he showed was that he can actually put together a pretty good defense mixed in with a bunch of hodgepodge guys, and they were actually not bad. So they'll continue to get better there. But this year is the year Justin Fields says, I'm a real legit quarterback, or we'll all kind of move on off of Justin Fields.
Aaron, I just have to let you know, I did get a call from Jalen Hurts, and he's suing you for defamation of character because you compared him to Justin Fields.
It's not that far of a stretch, to be honest with you. So,
Michael?
I agree with a lot of what Aaron was saying. I think I actually kind of like this Eberflus guy. I think he's going to be a good coach.
I do too.
I think this comes down to schedule. They have a very easy schedule because the NFC North is bad. I'm kind of banking on the Packers not being that good and them getting at least one from them. They get the NFC South. That could be a 4-win or at least 3-win situation for them. You know, they draw the AFC West, but there's a couple teams in the AFC West that aren't that strong right now. So it's going to be close. I definitely don't see them winning more than 8 games, but that's what I was banking on because of the schedule.
All right, let's move on to the Carolina Panthers. They also have that 7.5 win total. The question is, will they exceed 7.5 wins? Vote yes or no now. Oh, back to agreement. It didn't take long. Michael, kick this one off.
For me, this is all about rookie quarterback coming in, Bryce Young. You know, I just think this team isn't ready for a quarterback to come in and do what we've seen a couple of rookie quarterbacks do. I think they're gonna play this right. They want to build. They're going to build around Bryce Young, and even though they are fortunate to be in the NFC South and draw an easy schedule playing against not only the NFC South but the AFC South and the NFC North, it's just a rebuild time for the Panthers. They should play that way. It shouldn't be about emergence of trying to get the wins this year. And I think they'll play it smart because I think their coaching staff knows what they're doing. And that means they're going to lose some games this year.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Eric? Oh, Aaron, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I think the coaching situation is not worried about keeping their jobs. Obviously, it's a fresh new hire. So at the end of the day, he's going to sit there and take his time with Bryce Young and hopefully not get him killed this first year.
Win total is the Green Bay Packers. Yes or no? Will they exceed it? Vote now. Okay, you scared me earlier, Aaron, when I predicted the Saints to win the the division, and you told me it was going to be the Packers. Look, I'm going to give you most of the floor to talk about it. The Packers did not make the playoffs last year. They were 8-9. That was with Aaron Rodgers. And now they turned the ball over to Jordan Love. I feel pretty good about it under here. Michael, why don't you go, and then we'll let Aaron tell us why we're wrong.
Yeah, no, I mean, you and I are on the same page. It's a rebuild year for the Packers. They do have a strong defense. I think that's what Aaron's argument for why he thought they might win the division over the Lions was that they are the more complete team. I don't disagree that they're a little bit more complete because of that defense, but the offense on the Lions is much better than the Packers. And I think we could see once again the Lions beat the Packers twice, which would be the reason why the Packers don't get more than 7 wins this year. Yes, the NFC North is weak. Yes, they play the NFC South, but they play the AFC West. So I just don't see them winning more than 7 games. Aaron?
Well, they're going to pick up an easy win against the Raiders, just saying. And I'm a Raider fan. So, but no, I will say this is that offensive line, they're solid. Defense is very, very good still. Last year, let's not forget, Aaron Rodgers had no intention on being with Green Bay going further and was very disinterested. In fact, would not even attend any of the voluntary or mandatory OTAs for the simple fact that he could care less. They had a lot of young wide receivers that were blossoming and wanted, to link up with him, and he could care less. So at the end of the day, I will say Jordan Love, as long as you can be Trent Dilfer good, which is not very good, I think they have enough defense in that division. And then with playing the cross pollination of the AFC South or that NFC South as well, they'll get at least 9 wins out of this club as long as I follow Mountain West football, and Jordan Love can really use his legs. I think he's going to really depend on that, but they're going to depend mostly on the big running game that they got.
Okay, the last team that's 7.5 win totals on here is the New York Giants. Will they exceed 7.5 wins? Go ahead and vote now. Okay, I don't like the Giants. These lines makers are absolutely making me go over. They were 9-7-1 last year, and I don't understand the line at 7.5. I don't think they're a significantly worse team than last year. In fact, I think getting Darren Waller, Jones needed a weapon, and getting Darren Waller in the passing game will help. Michael?
Just trying to be quick here as we get towards the end of the list, but I think Brian Daboll is an interesting coach. I think you're right. I think it's 50-50 on the 7.5. I think it's 7 or 8 wins, but I think it's 8. I think it's 8 and 9 this year. They go less than last year. I don't think they make the playoffs. Aaron?
Yeah. If you're a really big betting man, I'd put actually money on them to win their division. And only reason why, and I'm not a Daniel Jones fan. Obviously last year I crushed him a few different times, but I am a big Brian Daboll fan. But I will say this, by all the accounts, Waller is healthy and he is really opening things up over the middle. And they got a kid that's going like north of 26 miles an hour on the outside, that Hyatt kid from Tennessee, and he's catching everything. And then you bring back a healthy Saquon Barkley, who obviously signed the deal, is going to be happy to be there. I kind of have a sneaky feeling like they could sneak up on some teams in the NFC East.
Jalen Hurts, who I have on speed dial, once again called me.
That's it.
And now he's really offended that he said that the Eagles wouldn't win the division.
Daniel Jones is coming for him.
Okay. Daniel Jones and Justin Fields. Okay. Speaking of that same division, the Washington Commanders are 6.5 win total. Question is, will they go over or under? Go ahead and vote now. Okay. All right. So a mixed route. This was hard for me. So I understand the no vote. They were 8-1 last year in playing in that really difficult division. I'm gonna put a little faith in Eric Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator, and they get a decent quarterback play out of Sam Howell. So I'm saying that they can get to 7 wins. Aaron?
Eric Bieniemy, I'm with you there, but I don't know if he makes it out of training camp. So there's some weirdness going on with the Washington Commanders. Ron Rivera's press conference just this last week was probably the most strangest press conference of all time. What coach just out of the blue offers up that his players are having a hard time with Eric Bieniemy, their offensive coordinator? I don't know. I almost feel, and there's a new owner, obviously new ownership with the Washington Commanders. I kind of have this feeling that there's a little bit of dissension in the coaching ranks. And when you've got dissension in the coaching ranks, that just obviously trickles down into the players as well. And quarterback situation, when you got 2 quarterbacks, you got no quarterback. And they're obviously trying to figure out if Sam Howell is going to be the guy, but the backup's getting a lot of the reps as well. So I don't really know where they're going to end up falling on that aspect. To me, they go under maybe a 5 or 6 win team.
Yeah, to keep it quick, I'll just say that they got the toughest schedule of everyone in their division, obviously because of the fact that what the division is. They draw the AFC East as well, so tough year for these guys.
So the LA Rams, will they exceed 6.5 wins? Go ahead, vote now. Okay, Aaron, you're in the minority. We'll let you go first.
I am the Lone Ranger in this. It's a very 3-man dependent team. As long as Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, and Matthew Stafford stay healthy, I feel like they get Arizona twice. They split with Seattle.
What?
But I also just feel like this is a very forgotten team. I feel like some of those veterans, like I just named the top 3 there on the team, feel a little bit of disrespect. And, they've sold their drafts as well. They've sold a lot of draft picks and things of that nature. But I still feel the defensive product that they put out last year wasn't terrible. And another year, they should have some more improvement there.
I get it. You know, this record last year, 5-12, those big three you talked about, Stafford, Kupp, and Aaron Donald, were all injured. So I get the rule for optimism. And if it was just that, I would have said over. But the problem is they need to change their team name. It can't be the Rams anymore because none of the good Rams are back besides those three. Jalen Ramsey is gone. Bobby Wagner is gone. Their safeties, Taylor Rapp and Nick Scott, are gone. And they're not replaced in any of them with quality players. So I'm under.
Yeah, I agree. Rebuild year. Next.
The next team is the Tampa Bay Bucks, 6.5. Will they exceed it? Yes or no? Vote now. Clean sweep. Michael.
Bucks are in rebuild mode. Enough said.
Yeah, it's Brady's gone. Fournette's gone. QB is trash.
Possibly the second worst team in the NFL.
So, okay. All right. Moving on. The lines makers made this difficult. 4.5. They're by far the lowest win total of any team in the NFL. Can they just squeak by and get 5 wins? Yes or no? Vote now. No. Go, Aaron.
I thought they made it too easy. 4.5 is way too high. I'm thinking 2. If Kyler Murray comes back somewhere point in the season, but they're going to look to trade him.
Yeah. JJ Watt's gone. Hopkins is gone. What's not gone is their hope to get the number 1 overall pick, either to use it or trade it. I'm under.
Yep, agreed.
Aaron, as usual, it was great to have you on the show. We did a similar show, all about the AFC. We'll put the link up on the screen on there, and we'll have another video we think you might enjoy. Until next time, take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.